So I'm starting, and before we start, I will just share my screen. For those who don't know me, I'm Ankit Jain, I'm Metinix certified. I'm a technical architect. So I'm active on Salesforce events. This is my LinkedIn by chance if you need. This is the QR code for that. Okay. If anybody needs a screenshot of that, it's fine.
Yeah,
And
already.
yeah, this is the WhatsApp meets. You can follow and you can subscribe whatever you want. And this is our WhatsApp group link. Yeah, that's it. So, what means anybody wants to take an interview, or we can give it in a regular fashion, like general questions we can discuss. And you want to get interviewed?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Sisha, you can get started with your introduction.
Good evening or good afternoon. Myself, I am Shirsha Anita. I'm working in digital technologies Salesforce developer. For that, I completed my graduation from Audit Institute of Technology and Management.
Your voice is a bit like your voice is a bit low, Sisha.
I did my BTech from IT college in the stream of ECE. Thereafter, I joined HCL as a fresher. I got the opportunity to work in the Salesforce domain. I have around 2.11 years of experience in the Salesforce. During my experience, I earned 4 certifications: that Developer 1, Arbiter, Admin, and the Associate. During my tenure, I have the opportunity to work on both Salesforce administration part and development part. This is my short, pretty much. Thanks for.
Yeah, and Sisha, here is like multiple parts I have observed. First part, you're talking about your graduation, then you're talking about how you started with the fresher and all of this. And you can, and never ever, like if it is going like 2 years, 11 months, you can say, I have approx 3 years of experience. That sounds so much good to your ears, right?
Yes.
So say it like that. And what were your key attributes, key parts that you had? Like for you have done 5 certifications. That you said it very last. You could have told in the beginning itself, like I'm currently working as you already mentioned that I'm currently working with HCL as a Salesforce developer. Then after that, you could have said like I have 5 certifications. Uh, uh, and then I have worked on means I'm got experience of both Salesforce declarative and programmatic one. And then my means the core skills, my core skills in Salesforce are like the LWC or whatever it is. And then you sure your next line should be, if you allow me, can I please talk about the project on recently which I worked on? And then you should have get started. Now, what's the problem in your approach is like you're giving an interview or a panel to dominate you on to dominate. Means suppose I were to ask you, I am free now. Like you're given me an open forum. Like what are topics I want to ask you, I can ask. But suppose to avoid this situation, what you can do is like you can tell the project by itself. You can talk about the means you can ask the panel like, can I talk about the project on very recently which I worked on? This way you already have worked on that project, so you know in and out of that. And then you can, while explaining a project, talk about the technical stuff in that, like how the things were done and what are different objects, what was the business scenario. So all of that, that would actually, and panel would never, 99% of the scenario, panel will not say like, stop, don't talk about the project and recently which you worked on. Because now it increases your chances of getting selected, Sirisha. So you have to be very much clear, like it should be like our intention is like we want the panel to ask only those things that we are comfortable on.
Yeah.
So in your introduction, I have also shared like the sample introduction, like how your introduction should go in the WhatsApp chat as well. So you should start with your brief, very short intro. Like my name is this, my current designation is this, and then I have total this many years of experience. And any if after that you will say like I have done these many certifications. Talking about that in the beginning is very important because that sets the expectation. Like this is like He's highly he has he or she has done a good number of certifications, so seems a good fit. That kind of impression gets developed from the very beginning. So it's like that, and then you can talk about like my core skills means my strengths are, or my skill set is whatever in the Salesforce, whatever you are comfortable on, like flows, process builder, all of that you can talk about. And after that, just say that line, if you allow me, can you please can you talk about the recent project of which I worked on, and then just get and wait for the panel to respond and just get started on that.
Okay, sir.
Do you want to try again, or you would or let's take 5 minutes, you can formulate it to your mind, and then you can take the interview mates. You can repeat your intro after some time again. In the meantime, like you can just now get started with your recent project that you worked on. I'm assuming like you would ask that, and it would be done. So you can get started with your recent project which you worked on, Sirisha.
Yeah. I worked on this Excel support project with Nokia. There I have worked on the business scenarios according to the Jira stories, service notification. During the experiences, I have worked on administration and development.
Your voice is in between very low. Sirisha, can you please hold?
Yes.
Can you please speak
Yes.
closer to the mic?
Okay.
Voice is little slow.
Yeah, can we come again?
Yeah. I have worked in the Nokia project, the Excel. Client is Nokia. According to the business requirements and the user stories, signal tickets, whatever they have assigned, I have the opportunity to work on those things. During the ticket assignment, I have the opportunity to work with administration in the development part. The administration like configuration, users, configuration of objects, are have the opportunity to work with declarative tools, automation, and in the development part, I have the opportunity to work with the fixed triggers and handlers.
Sisha, you are actually the way you are explaining the project, it's like already you are kind of making it sound like it's not a good part, like you didn't get good experience at all. That's what actually you are conveying in the way like how you are explaining the project. Everybody works on the based on user stories, so mentioning that doesn't add any value. Your what you need to say is about like this is the means I worked on a project, whatever is the project. Don't say like it is a support project or anything. What was the core requirement? What purpose it was solving? Do you know about that or no?
Sorry, sir. Repeat.
I am asking like what project that you means I know like you worked on the support project, but is it necessary to tell that it is a support project?
No, in the
No,
applications.
no, it's not necessary. You can just tell about like this is a project, like what are the core things that are there and you know or not.
Yeah, I know.
Then tell about it functionality. Like suppose it's like
It's all
it.
about the
I didn't follow.
it's like finance. Sir.
I know it's a finance. Do you know the business use case? No.
But I have the opportunity working with sales cloud and partner.
Do you know at the high level what are the different actors that you had in the project?
Um, managing the business users in the sales cloud as well as the partner users who are registering their deals.
So can you say it like that? Like the application involved managing the leads and uh, uh, doing the user management for the internal sales folks. And I was working on getting those lead assignment rules and getting the user doing the user configuration with the help of our declarative tools that we had. Uh, profile, permission sets and permission set groups, and also I was involved in using the flow, updating the flows as per the different criteria. Since it's not a normal process, it's based, the things depend on a couple of factors. So I had to add in, that means I need to update the conditions based on which the different taxes has to be given. Something like that. Can you say or not?
Yeah, I can say. I will go through the points. This is very
Yeah.
helpful. Yeah, now I got the point for
Actually, you should not present your project in a gloomy way. It should be like, it should sound like it's a bit of complex thing you have done. You should, like, I don't know really about your project, but I can say like at high level, like you just told me like it had something to do with leads.
Yes.
Leads are accessed only by the sales reps, most scenarios.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
can talk about that, no? Prepare in your mind any one project. You could take some time on the notepad. Like, what are the things that you were telling about when you were talking about the project? Get mention that very clearly and then practice it.
Yeah. I noted down the points.
And the first line before talking about that, it was around the sales cloud implementation. You can take about the clouds. So, and this way you are telling the end panel, like, yes, I know about the different clouds that are there in Salesforce.
Yes. Okay, sir.
And anyways, lead is there, so lead assignment rules would be also there in, right?
Yeah.
So talk about those things.
Yes, I will prepare the notes accordingly.
Okay.
Yeah.
The project didn't quite go with like what the level I expected. No worries, I will directly go to the technical stuff. So, suppose you have to, based on like if a case is say created, you want to update the external SAP system, means send that update to SAP system in the which is outside Salesforce. So what would you do?
Can you repeat it again, sir?
If the case is say updated, or is it like say closed, and you want to send that information to another means is external system like SAP,
Yeah.
what would
Yeah.
you do?
Okay, this is platform event.
Yeah, you can do platform event.
Yeah, that's
But how it would work when it would be created, like platform events, you will have to do fire that, right?
Yes.
When how means what, how it would get fired?
I didn't have a chance to do the scenario, but I will go through platform event prepared flow by Ankush.
No, what means my intent is, you will have, first thing you will have to tell is like, since the it's based on the event of like case update, so there would be a record triggered flow that would be involved, right?
Yes.
So you can tell, no, like on the, I will have a record triggered flow. Based on that, I will means my platform event would get published, and at the other side in the SAP, I will need it to do the subscription of that, and
Yeah, I will
also
go through the
and also justify, like, see, this is a very simple question, but you can utilize it to the maximum advantage by talking about, like, I just asked you one scenario, you said about platform events, but to make sure like you sound like too much knowledgeable, you can also tell about like, why didn't you say change data capture? You can mention that we are means we use the platform event because in the CDC it would be fired every time, and the update would be sent every time. Here my scenario use case is like, only when the case is closed, that time I have to send the notification. And to have a complete control over like I want to limit the data that is being sent to SAP. So that's why we are utilizing the platform events. And as you know, like platform events, we can fire it both from the triggers as well as from the flows.
Yes.
So you can say like that. See how the simple scenario I can utilize it to the maximum extent. Like I can make it sound like yes, I know very much different means I know various things about what are the about the integration, right?
Yeah.
This is a very simple example.
Yeah.
Like suppose you have to do it this integrate with this via REST integration. Do you know how to do that?
I didn't have opportunity. Limited
Have you
knowledge.
read about those? I know like
Yeah.
few things. So
Yeah.
what you read about that? Can you tell about tell?
Yeah. REST supports both JSON and XML. So supports only XML. So is used for high level systems in the mind.
No, here in the context of the question I'm talking about. Say, see how you need to answer this is like we can also do it like we can do the REST-based integration. So in this scenario, what I will have to do is like since it's a REST means we'll have to do it via the API. I can't directly call the REST to the callouts in the triggers. So what I will have to do is like I will have to create a future method for that and then do the API callout. So here my first step would be since I'm making an outbound call, I will have to make sure like I update the remote site settings. Or if I have the name credentials available, that is the best case. So I will use that in the code and then using the HTTP class, I would just call the send method. And in the meantime, like the authentication, I assume like there would be already like it's already authorized from the SAP side so that it gives me the response that I need, any acknowledgement. And it's now a fire and forget kind of a pattern. Do you follow what I was trying to say? Or,
Yeah.
did it went above your head? Please be very clear.
I was understanding, sir, but I didn't know the part of integration. So
Read about that. Read,
yeah.
please.
Yeah.
This way means I can just help you like about the way of thinking.
Yes.
Thought
Catching
process.
your point. Yeah.
The next part is like you worked on the profiles and roles, right?
Yes.
So suppose there are two people means so no assume like total there are 100 employees, okay?
Okay.
I want like 90 means 90 users or employees should be able to access opportunity each other's opportunity, okay?
Okay.
But the remaining 10 should not be able to access each other's opportunity. So what should be the OWD in that scenario?
Here the OWD must be private.
Okay. How will you give the access?
Yeah. I will create one sharing rule based on the record owner criteria rule or criteria based sharing rule based on the logic what is matching at the time. I will configure like that. And whatever the 90 people I want to share them and create a public group or whatever the group they are associated with. I will share the records through read or edit access by configuring the share.
Yeah, that's correct. Also, you can just mention like you can also means like I will try to make it like if it could be some role based or anything like that. Since giving access to individual users would be difficult for doing the maintenance. You can talk about that as well.
Sure.
The next part in the Apex is like suppose I want to create a batch class and do callouts. So what should I do?
Yeah.
Can I do callouts with the
There is
batch
a
class?
yes, we can do columns by the annotation like at the red yellow columns equals to then
What annotation?
at yellow callouts equals to
Okay,
yellow
that is an
columns equals
interface.
yeah. By using that we can prevent the bias. columns.
Okay. Can I do call a one batch from another?
Yes, we can call one batch from another, we can call it from finish method.
Okay. So what is the method like? What are the different kind of start method that I have it available in the batch class?
There is
Start,
only one start.
no, in the start method there are two variants of that, right?
Yes,
What are those two?
the start method, we will prepare the data, like we will query the records which will process the batch, and we will return the query, like database dot query located query. So it can be asynchronous and can give maximum number of records by the constant bits.
Your voice is actually too much lower. I'm the only one that is feeling like that. I don't know.
But now sir,
Yeah, now it is better, much better. Yes.
yeah,
So,
in
so,
the start method, yeah,
so see, the start method is of two types. One is like where you need to use the database dot query locator is the return type.
yeah.
Second is like you return the list of iterators. Database dot get it means query locator we use when we don't know the data. We don't have the data with us. We need to query that data, so we use that one. Iterator we use when we already have the data with us and we just want to process that data in batches.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So you'll have to tell it like that.
Okay.
Okay. The next part is means there are two call center agents. Okay.
Repeat it,
Both.
sir.
Sorry.
Can you repeat it again?
Yeah. What I am saying is like assume like there are two call center agents.
Okay.
No, actually not call center agents. Two members of the service team.
Okay.
See, both of them work on the cases simultaneously, right? So
Hmm.
sometimes what happens is like they're facing a problem. Like they are saying like the record is being modified. That kind of error is coming in. Like both and sometimes end up being modifying the records, same records at the same time. Basically, like there's only one record. Both the people are access and modify it at the same time. So that time the record is getting logged. So what we can do at this point, how can you make sure like these kind of situations don't happen?
Sorry, sir.
Like see, like suppose I'm a call center or it means I'm a service part of a service team, okay? And suppose you're also part of service team. Like I work on the case record with the number 001. You also work on the same record. So
Hmm.
So when I try to save it, saying like this record is already being modified by another user, we get that error, right?
Yeah.
So how do we avoid that?
I didn't go through the second.
You have to say like when the record is being modified, you'll have to handle it via streaming API.
Hmm.
So whenever another person tries to access the same record, he gets a notification like this is already being used by another person, like something of that sort.
Okay, sir. I will go through this. Yeah.
The next part is around suppose there's a contact, okay, and an account.
Hmm.
Suppose I delete a account, means an account is associated to a contact. So if I delete the account, what would happen? Will the contact get also deleted or it won't?
Yes, the related context can be.
It will be deleted?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But it is a lookup relationship, then why it is deleted?
Yeah, it is a standard relationship. It has the characteristics of lookup and detail. And when we create an account, when we delete an account, the corresponding chains also get deleted. But when we create a contact, it's not necessarily to give the account name. So it is a characteristic of the relationship because it's not mandate to feel there. So
Okay.
it is special conditions.
Okay. Tell me about the different type of field types that means different type of relationship that we have in Salesforce.
Yeah, the master detail and lookup relationship and self lookup
Yeah.
and hierarchical relationship and another one is a junction. Many
Yeah. After junction, what did you say?
and that is we need to
Sorry, your voice actually again is like down. I don't know.
junction object only.
Yeah. After junction, you didn't say
And
anything.
no,
You should also tell about like direct lookup, indirect lookup.
no.
Sorry, external lookup and indirect. It's something like indirect lookup relationship we also have, and external lookup relationship also we have.
No.
These come into consideration using while we talk about Salesforce Connect external objects.
No. Do I need to brief about these things?
Yes, yes. To also read about this.
Yeah. First of all, I will brief about master detail. Master detail relationship is a tightly.
Although 90% of the people, although I agree, like 90% of the panel would agree, it means will be okay with if you just talk about like lookup and master detail. But suppose if you're going into very good companies, they would definitely talk about that.
Sure.
Once I was getting interviewed for related to community cloud. The discussion was around what are the different types of community users that we have in the community. I said like there is a customer community, there is an partner community, but I also had to mention about the employee community. Although it's not that much popular, but employee community is also a feature that is available in Salesforce.
Okay, sir. I will brief about. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Master detail relationship is a tight relationship. In this, the cascade deletion happens that whenever the master get deleted, the related child records also get deleted. We can have up to two master detail relationships in an object. When we are filling any of the data in the relationship field, we need to must and should fill the record. That means it must be required there. Coming to the lookup relationship, it is loosely coupled. Whenever the parent gets deleted, the related child not get deleted here. Nearly 40 lookups we can create.
From the sharing perspective, from the sharing perspective, from the sharing from the OWD, from OWD perspective, what is the difference between both of those?
Both are same, like both are control the parent only. Like whenever we are creating
No, in lookup,
record,
in lookup you have the option. In lookup relationship, you have an option to change that default value controlled by parent. You can also configure it based on its own sharing. But for master detail, you don't get that option because it's like its sharing is controlled by parent only.
No, I didn't know this about. I would also. And also the child ownership is given. Child did not have any owner field the records because the ownership goes to the parent here.
Yes, that's true.
Yes, we can convert both master detail and lookup relations to one another, vice versa. But there are some precautions when you are converting master detail to lookup. We need to must ensure there will be no roll-up summaries present in the corresponding object. Coming to the lookup relationship can be changed to the master detail when it has no data of the records present in our current R. If data is present, we need to must and fill the data in the R and we convert the field change type to master detail there. And coming to self relationship means one object is parenting to that particular object only means self relationship came to the picture. Hierarchical relationship and another relationship. It will be present in the user object.
Yes,
Yeah.
Srisha, you can hold on that. Just tell me now, like, what are different ways, like, I can mention that the data in the org is very much relevant and is of good quality. What are the things that I can do?
While conversion, you are asking.
I want to just mention,
Okay.
means the
Yeah.
question is very simple. In my org, the data should be of good quality. So what are the
Okay.
different things that I can do to make sure like it is the data
Mhm.
quality is maintained?
Yeah. We can do the data integrity by writing the validation rules, and also we can set up the duplicate rules as well by by not creation of the duplicate records happened in the earth, like that we can do, and also wherever necessary we can put the unique value in the field type while creation of the field. These are some steps like duplicate rules we can do. We can write validation rules based on the right criteria logic in order to be our data most unique. And also there is one more field checkbox like that.
Oh, your checkbox is fine, but it doesn't help in the validation. Means making the data quality, maintaining the data quality.
Okay.
You can mention like for things like state and country. We also have the feature of enabling the standard picklist values. So we get the default values that mean standard state and country. So that helps us maintain the clean data inside the Salesforce org. Also, like wherever possible, like we can use the global value set. So what happens is like across different applications, otherwise there might be some change in the casing of some standard pick list values. So if we use the global value set, we can maintain the consistency. That also helps in maintaining data quality.
Yeah. And we can do by data categories as well. So
Which
data categories.
data categories you mean about the different types of like PII or something like that, data classification?
Yeah. Something. Okay, leave it. So.
Yeah, data classification is a different topic altogether. The next thing you can talk means you can elaborate is the life cycle of. Have you worked on LWC?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me like the life cycle of a LWC component, like from the very start. What's the first thing that gets executed?
Okay. LWC component involves the life cycle, the component, the constructor, connected callback, rendered callback, and edited
No,
callback.
before that, the very first step is the constructor gets called.
Yeah, yes, I am just giving power line and go to the. Yeah. Coming to the life cycle, first constructor will get called. Whenever the component gets inserted into the component gets created, constructor is instantiated in the DOM. Constructor gets called first. Thereafter, connected callback will call. In the connected callback, all the variables will get instantiated there. Next, standard callback will come, and when the properties values are rendered, then rendered callback will come to the picture. And in the connected callback, we can do the operations like publishing and subscribing, and also we can we can get the data from the server by if we are using thread by in our JavaScript. In the disconnected callback, we will dispatch the LWC component from the DOM. Here the things like The disconnect.
Disconnected callback.
Yeah, removal will be done here with the disconnected callback. At last error callback. The error callback we can capture the errors if anything error present in the child object, child component. So,
One point actually I was thinking like while we talked about data quality, like we can also mention like making some fields required so that the garbage data is not inserted into Salesforce. We can also add that point under data quality.
yeah,
Okay.
yes. That means we need to make sure to get required not
Few
required.
of the important fields, not all of it, based on business information, can make sure like the important fields are made required. Take the development phase, like you, if you have to make a field required through trigger, what is the way?
Like I can write a before event there. If the field is blank, I can write a logic using add error method. That means make sure to fill the field like that. I show the message
Okay.
by using before.
Uh, now with the in the before in the flow as well, can we do this?
Yes, we can latest release. Uh, we can do via flow as well.
Okay. Now tell me, like, if suppose, do you know about remote actions in Salesforce?
No, no.
Okay. Do you know about invocable methods?
Yeah,
Okay. When those are means which methods are tagged as invocable?
yeah. When we want to call Apex inside a flow or a process pillar, we will need to make sure to annotate the Apex method as invocable so that we can call the Apex logic inside it.
Yeah. I think Nick wants to say ask one question on LWC related to that.
Okay, so my question is, can we override standard functionality by using LWC? If yes, then how? And if not, then I mean, what is the workaround then?
I would say like when you talk about a standard functionality, it would actually depend on case scenario to scenario. A few of the scenarios
Uh,
you have that option of overriding the standard functionality. You can.
let's let's suppose let's
uh
suppose there is an account object and an account object, the new button for creating the new account record.
Yeah,
So if we are creating a new form using LWC component, and if we wanna override that new button by using, I mean, if we wanna replace LWC component instead of the new functionality, so can we do that? Or I
yeah,
mean,
we
what is
can.
the workaround? Or I mean,
We can do that. We can create a new button and then you can place that component. It ask you the source, like what you want to. Do you want to put in a screen flow? You want to put an LWC like that? It gives you an option.
sir, I have seen one video in YouTube. I think we cannot do that directly. We have to go to through the Aura component. We have to use LWC component inside the Aura component, and then we can use this Aura component. And for that, if you wanna use that, then we have to use, I think, one interface.
Aura
I'm
plus
not sure
Aura,
about it.
Aura plus LWC would be needed in actually.
Yes, 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 sir.
They're actually working on this idea. Means they means Salesforce is working on those.
Let me just add this thing. Like this is not possible. What you have to do, you have to create a button, and from the button you have to call a different, entirely separate this thing. Like if you want to do the account object, you have to call a separate LWC, create a new LWC, and then call that and from there only you have to call this thing. So, like core customization is not possible. Even if we talk about the Omni Studio is also there. Like their data tables are there. So there also I tried to do the customization, but like I'm unable to do that thing as well.
Yeah, so this is how it is. What
So
you're
only
talking about.
way is like you have to create whole LWC, new
Exactly.
LWC, and then you have to follow this
Exactly.
thing.
Yes, yes,
You
yes,
cannot
yes.
you cannot override anything at all.
Yeah, it's like that. Like with I also meant like you have to create a new LWC as well, and as well you will need an aura as along with that.
Yeah,
And
it's
this
not
is
Aura.
the
Like you can call the LWC as well. From the LWC you can have a grade and form fields as
yeah.
well. So it's not necessary that you have to call the Aura. Using LWC also you can do the action, or else you can call the flow as well. There is no issue in calling such things. But like you cannot override the core custom functionality. That's what I know. Like practically, I'm unable to do that.
Sir,
Yeah,
I wanna tell you something. Can I share?
yeah, sure.
Sir, actually, I have created LWC component and I go to that field section and there is button sections and there is a one button, new button. So I edit there and try to
Are
override,
you sharing your
but
screen?
there I didn't get. No. I'm sharing what I just experienced.
Okay.
So I didn't get, the LWC component there. So I tried by using uh, Aura component. So this way I accomplish this thing. But directly I cannot use, I was not able to use the LWC component there.
For quick actions, you cannot do that.
Yes.
It's actually again posted on the ideas. I can post some links related to that, Nick, in the chat. Give me a minute. Whatever we are discussing is already a part of ideas. Like seems is also evolving. Like although LWC they are given immense support, but still many things are yet to be configured by them to make it more useful. Yeah, so I posted those links, Nick. So the standard ideas list, so you can have a glance on that.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I think we are actually quite over the time right now. Any final questions, anything like that? Or a short question, so anything wants to ask anything specific? Okay. Yeah, continue.
In an interview, I was asked to like, what is inbound and outbound integration in LWC.
Okay.
Is this question is there or not?
Inbound integration
Inbound
with
and
our
LWC.
outbound integration means like you have like from LWC you are doing an integration, doing a you are, it's kind of I think a UI data update. Like you are updating the LWC component based on the response you're receiving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's regular outbound call that you do. Inbound, actually, let me think. The only
And
one way like I'm able to visualize it is in the form of streaming API. Like in the background something is updated and then that component is getting updated in the same org. The data is updated based on the response. Like suppose in the page I'm on a page. Suppose I'm looking at a contact means a custom screen in community. Okay, and in the background, like from the system administrator side, someone has updated that record, and that record is updated in my community at that very juncture, like how it happens during the payment. So it's kind of that update that is happening, that I can call it as somewhat inbound integration, but that's actually not a proper inbound integration, I would say. But that's what I am able to visualize. Other than that, I'm not able to visualize like inbound integration for LWC. Let me just research that. There's something I am able to get.
And one more, what are application and application and component scenarios?
Yeah, those are like application based events, means through the application it would be basically some of the scenario. Sometimes what happens is like you have the two Aura components. So and they are not in any hierarchy, like they are not a parent child. So what you have to do is like through the application, you have to pass on the message. So you use the application based event on that. Component based is like it either if it's a parent child, it's a child parent. So you are able to send that information.
And also, like
PubSub API.
one record, yeah, LMS also.
Yeah. So I would say PubSub and LMS are conceptually same, but the difference is LMS is a more standard way of doing the integration across the various Salesforce components like LWC or a Visual Force. And PubSub is like more kind of a general use case. In LMS, we have to create a different channels. In PubSub, it's just a publish and subscriber model. That's what I would say. The recommended approach is to go with LMS only.
Okay, sir. And one more, can we put one record form in another record form? The answer is
Sorry?
no, right?
Sorry.
Can we put one record form in another record form? Record form, LDS record.
LDS.
Yeah, can we put one record form in another record form?
I don't think so.
It's no right, sir, but because one object.
Yeah, because lateral service would get confused. Like you'll have to create different sections and you'll have to do the update.
Guys, if anyone has any difficult things to discuss, click it.
Your voice is breaking today. Your network is actually a bit down, Sirisha, actually.
Nothing from my side. It's done.
Okay. It's done.
Yeah.
So I'm closing this one.
Ankit, just one more question. Like when we are talking about LWC, like a lot of people are asking, like when we are using wire method and when we are using imperative call. So like any practical scenario? Yeah.
Any practical scenario is like I would suppose at the very start you want to get that information, so you would get the call the var method. In some scenarios, actually, what happens is like you do some pre-checks and then only you call means whatever I had done the development. I means for me, my preference is like in most of the scenarios, I had to apply some logic like some pre-checks and then have to do the API calls. So for me, most of the time it was imperative calls that were useful. Wired method is like there's no criteria, means you don't have to apply any checks like pre-checks in your LWC code, and then you just get that data from the server, no matter what is the scenario. So for me, it's like I do imperative calls most of the time because I have to apply some kind of JavaScript. I want to have some control over those things. Like I want to check like if that particular field is available, then only make that API call. Means the or not API call that Apex method. Like suppose if talking about like say IDs, like wire method we get used for getting that information from the server only, right? So suppose on that I want to get the information related to say a case on related to a case record that is associated with the user. So what I have to do is like I mean, I want to apply a check beforehand, like the user ID is not being passed as null. So if I don't use the imperative calling, then it would be means I will have to handle this in the backend. So that's the way I look at it.
Okay.
Basically, it's more around the control that you want to have. Wire method, it would take do whatever it wants. You don't have any control. It's kind of similar to the concept of CDC and this one platform event. CDC automatically it would work. It would not listen to you. It would happen all the time. It's in Salesforce control. Platform events, it's in your hands. Like you want to when you want to publish that. It's kind of that.
Okay.
And another use case is around the caching. Like suppose if you use the @wire method, then it's compulsory for you to use cacheable equal to true.
Cacheable, true.
Yes.
Mm.
But when you do the regular imperative calling, it's not necessary.
Okay.
So that
I
is
think
my yeah.
I think in imperative method it is not necessary, but we can also use that. I think.
Yeah, you can definitely
I
use
mean, I
that.
mean we can use that,
Yeah,
but
you can
only when we want to fetch the record at
yes.
that time.
Yes.
Otherwise, if you want to perform like DML operation, like update operation, delete operation, at that time we cannot do that.
Yes, agreed. So
Please.
basically wire means
Okay.
if suppose you're utilizing @wire, that is implied like you want to just get that information. That's why you are using wire adapter.
Okay.
No, but using wire and FX, we can update the data as well.
Wire and
No, not wire and FX. Like, yeah. You are correct. You are correct. We cannot use DML for like for that. We have to call JSON.
you will have to call it
Connect.
imperatively the regular methods that like our regular adapters.
Yeah.
Okay, then
Hi. I have one more question. Actually, I use refresh apex actually refresh
method.
apex
Yeah.
method so many times. It will work sometimes or it will not work actually sometimes. I just use I mean the regular expression like after getting the data I store into the another variable and refresh those variable I mean this variable after I mean whenever I click the button, so it will work sometime or it will not work sometime. So actually I'm not able to catch that error why this apex method the refresh
Uh,
apex method is not working.
I would say like I get means I'm just posting one of the link related to that in the chat. I think that should help.
Okay.
Okay, then
One thing is there, like refresh apex is mostly linked with wire method. From wire method
yes,
only we can
Yeah.
call that,
yes,
and then we can do
yes,
refresh, and then only this refresh apex is possible. So
yeah,
like maybe sometime it happens that from the wire you are not getting the data or something can happen.
latest data.
Yeah.
Because you
So
have to put cacheable equal to true.
yeah, cacheable equal to true. So that's why sometime it happens that this refresh apex won't get.
Updated.
I mean, in coding wise, that's how like I perceive. But maybe like theoretically, the things can be different. But like what I have found from coding point of view, this
Yeah,
all.
agreed. Sometimes it does happen because of caching. You don't
Yeah,
get the
because
updated records.
we are getting cacheable equal to true, and like wire sometimes it happens that it is not generating the data. It's not giving us the data.
Yeah, that's actually means basically it all points on to like whenever if you know like you've done an update, you will have to call the refresh apex method explicitly.
Sir, can I ask one question, one more question?
Okay.
Uh, we use imperative method for the DML operation if we wanna do some
Yes,
DML operation,
correct.
and also we can perform DML operation by using wire adapter methods.
One adapter.
So, sir, how can we do wire adapters like get record, create record, update record, delete record? So we can also use these wire adapter methods, and those wire adapter is also working on, I mean, on top of the user interface on Lightning Data Services. So how can we differentiate like when should we go with which method, or I mean, imperative method or wire method? How can we differentiate in between?
The golden rule is like if you want to have a more granular control over like your sequence, so use imperative calling. And suppose if you want like whatever is the default behavior from the Salesforce, you can go with the wired adapter itself. From the practical experience, like I have found out like doing imperative calling is much more reliable because you have you know the entire flow, like you are able to control all the things. If you want a particular logic or if you any pre-checks you need, you can do that in the doing the while you are calling the imperative method. Before that, you can do those things. But if you're utilizing at that wire, there won't be any control that you will have. Also, sequence wise, also if suppose like first you want to get that particular info call and suppose you want to maintain a kind of a sequence in your Apex means calling the server side methods that you won't be able to do if you would be utilizing the wire method. But with the imperative calling, you can do that like you can maintain that sequence.
Uh, if I want to add one thing, like from the imperative method, you cannot call REST APIs.
Imperative method REST APIs.
Yeah,
I have not seen
yeah.
anything.
For for that, like you have to call the wire method on.
I'm a little
Okay,
doubtful on
that's
that.
that is a that is a new thing.
Had anyone called REST API from imperative method?
No.
1 second.
So maybe like that can also be different, but I'm also not sure. Like maybe that's what this discussion is all about to get those things. Because I
No,
tried once and it doesn't work.
here it's showing like it's like a different way we can do that. Because it means it's hard to believe like REST APIs you can't call imperatively. We can do that. It's like pretty much the regular way we do. Multiple apex call out imperatively. Okay, 1 second. Okay, it's like parallelly there's some if you want to do parallel calling, that time it fails, but regular, if you have only one, then it works out.
Okay.
Okay, then I think we can close the call now. It's like already quite late. So,
Thank you, Ankit sir. Thank you, Abhijit sir,
yeah.
for this session.
Thank you, Ankit.
Yeah, thank you, Ankit.
Thank you. Welcome.